Alright guys, we've all rustled here today, and if I look tired, that's because I was up at 6 o'clock in the morning, checking results, and I've pretty much done nothing but talk about exams, and the future, and university, since 6 o'clock. It is now nearly 4, so that's why this video is going up late. I apologise for that. A lot of people probably do look forward to my reviews of the NXT and Cruiserweight Classic, but hey ho, I'm here now. So yeah, this morning I got my exam results, and I've had a lot to do. It seems fine, and it should be fine. I was disappointed, I'll be totally honest, but you don't care about that. You care about the NXT and CWC from August 17th, I think. I'm guessing, if I get this right. Gold Star. Oh, what a man. 17th, I was totally right. Yeah, August 17th, NXT and CWC. So, before I get into these two shows, I want to talk about a couple of things. Firstly, last night I went to watch Suicide Squad at 9 o'clock. It didn't finish till 11. I thought this movie was genuinely good. I'm not going to do a full video on it like Batman vs Superman, but honestly, this movie's getting way too much hate. The critics are destroying it. I think the plot, honestly, was simple, and that's a good thing. I thought Deadshot, it was great. Will Smith was great as Deadshot. Harley Quinn, Margot Robbie was so funny as Harley Quinn, and I think that people are forgetting how naturally good Harley Quinn was in the Arkham games, and I know she was voiced by Tara Strong, who is basically the voice of Harley Quinn, as Mark Hamill is the voice of Joker. But I think Margot Robbie did a wonderful job, and people talk about how she's sexualized, you know, the camera really likes, well, it loves her, to be honest. But honestly, I think the Arkham games really sexualized Harley Quinn as well, so I'm not too hurt by it. It was a little bit annoying at times when the camera keeps focusing on a part of her body, but I'm totally fine, I guess, with her. I think she was very good in her role. She was very funny, and there were a couple of really good things about the movie. A couple of unexpected deaths, which I'm not going to spoil here. You should go and watch it for yourself. An unexpected villain, and Joker in the movie is the last thing I guess I'll talk about. To me, he wasn't bad, he wasn't good, he was in the middle, he was kind of okay, he was fine. So that was my quick thoughts on Suicide Squad. Moving on, I just want to mention these things. So, of course, you all know I'm a big fan of Japanese wrestling, and I've downloaded a couple of big Japanese matches over the years, a lot of G1 stuff, and I've put them on discs so I could watch them when I go to university. So, we have, I might review these, so if anybody wants me to review them, I'll review them. I'm looking forward to watching these discs. So the first one is the best of New Japan Pro Wrestling 2016 plus Minoru Suzuki versus AJ Styles from the G1 2014, which I would say is the best match of 2014 in New Japan, so I just thought I can add that to the list. There's a couple of good matches on this disc. Obviously, Styles and Suzuki's a 4 3/4 star match. You've got Goto and Omega in the G1 Climax final, Omega and Naito in the Block B final, you've got Marufuji and Okada from Block A, and you've got Ricochet against Ospreay, that very controversial best of the Super Junior matches. So that's the first one, the best of New Japan Pro Wrestling 2016, plus Minoru Suzuki and Styles. Next up we have best of the G1 Climax 26. Obviously, the G1 just finished. Kenny Omega, the winner. If you obviously don't know now, then you must not be too much of a Japan fan. So this disc has Hiroshi Tanahashi against Marufuji from Night 13, Hiroshi Tenzan against Tomohiro Ishii from Night 1, Okada against Ishii from Night 13, which is just a phenomenal wrestling match. Sonada against Marufuji from Night 11, Naito against Evil from Night 14, and Yuji Nagata against Nakajima, Katsuhiko Nakajima from Night 8. 6 matches on that disc, so that's the best of the G1 26. Third one, another New Japan one, New Japan Pro Wrestling Wrestle Kingdom Classic. This is a 5-match set of some of the best matches of Wrestle Kingdom. So we have AJ Styles against Shinsuke Nakamura, Wrestle Kingdom 10 for the IWGP Intercontinental Championship. We have Hiroshi Tanahashi against Kazuchika Okada Tanahashi Okada, Wrestle Kingdom 10, IWGP Heavyweight Championship. One of my favourite match all year. Such a phenomenal match. Kazushi Sakuraba against Shinsuke Nakamura for the IWGP Intercontinental title from Wrestle Kingdom 7. Kota Ibushi against Shinsuke Nakamura, Wrestle Kingdom 9 for the IWGP Intercontinental title. You'll notice a lot of IC title matches, and that title's really great. But Ibushi Nakamura, Wrestle Kingdom 9, such a phenomenal match. Oh, so great. Ibushi is a star in this match. And the last one is Togi Makabe against Katsuyori Shibata, Wrestle Kingdom 7. So, New Japan Pro Wrestling Wrestle Kingdom Classics. I love making my own little DVDs. It's cool to have my own little Japan collection. And the last one's an interesting one because I haven't watched a lot of Pro Wrestling Noah, but we have the best of Pro Wrestling Noah. And this DVD contains, so you have Naomichi Marufuji against Kenta from sometime in 2011. You've got Marufuji against Minoru Suzuki. I nearly said Kenzo Suzuki. Marufuji against Shelton X Benjamin. Suzuki Gun, which was the team of Lance Archer and Davey Boy Smith Jr., formerly David Hart Smith, Harry Smith, against the team of War Machine, Hanson and Rowe, who I really like. And you've got Takashi Sugiura against one of my favourite guys from Noah that I've seen, Katsuhiko Nakajima, who of course competed in the recent G1. So there it is, the best of Pro Wrestling Noah. So now, with nothing else to go, here we should start with NXT. And NXT started off with Hideo Itami taking on Mustafa Ali. This matchup was what you expected. This was a Hidami squash. Hitami looked very good here. Mustafa Ali really does need to be signed by this company. He looked phenomenal in his CWC match. He looked good here against Hitami. I'm not going to rate it. Sore throat. Been talking all morning. I'm not going to rate it, but in the end, of course, Itami wins with the Daniel Bryan knee. But I guess now we're referring to it as the Kenta knee again. We have a Bobby Roode package, blah, 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 blah. It was just saying how glorious he was. We then have 3 packages that hype the build for NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. On Saturday, of course, I'll be watching live with my friend Darcy, and we'll be reacting to it together. And it'll be fun, fun, fun. That's going to be a beautiful light in my week. We had a package for the Bayley Asuka match, which was followed by a package for the Aries No Way Jose match, my least looking forward match of the entire show. And then we had a package for Rude and Cien. So 3 packages. I liked the Bayley Asuka one, it was very good. We moved on to William Regal being backstage, and he said he had a special announcement, but he's then interrupted by the beautiful, and I didn't notice how beautiful she is until this show, Billie Kay. She does not look like a man at all. She's a beautiful Australian woman with a lovely accent. Reminds me a lot of Emma. Yeah. So she comes out. She doesn't come out. She goes to Regal and says, "Why aren't I in a match at NXT Brooklyn?" Regal says, "Oh, you're right. Yeah, you've won your last 2 matches. So I'm going to book you against Ember Moon," which, of course, as I predicted in my predictions review, I said I don't think they're going to do Billie Kay, but guess what? They are. So, hey ho. What's the point in building her up if you're just going to have a lose? I don't really get it. Moving on, we had really the only match on the show. It was Liv Morgan, Carmella, who of course are the same gimmick, although Carmella pulls it off better. Liv Morgan has the worst theme song in the world. And the debuting Nikki Glencross, but I refuse to call her that. She's Nikki Storm. So they would face the team of Alexa Bliss, Daria Berenato, of course, the chick from Tough Enough, and Mandy Rose, who of course was also the chick from Tough Enough. This was what I call a fine tag match. In the end, Carmella won with the head scissor. She caught Mandy Rose out of nowhere with it. A good finish. The match was fine. 2.5 stars. It was the only match on the show, so hey ho. And our last segment on the show was a sit-down, face-to-face interview conducted by Byron Saxton between Samoa Joe and Shinsuke Nakamura. Nakamura was wearing a plaid t-shirt, which looked totally out of place, and they basically discussed their matchup. Nakamura was very jokey, Joe was very serious. It was good stuff, and the show ends with Joe basically wanting to fight Nakamura, and Nakamura just, you know, being the charismatic Nakamura that he is. So, good segment there, and that was the end of the show. In the end, the show flew by, but probably not for a good reason. So, nothing on this show will stick with me in a month. So, that was the show. And the Cruiserweight Classic, moving on, of course, to the Cruiserweight Classic. Last week's episode was possibly the best episode we've had. Obviously, the phenomenal match between Cedric Alexander and Kota Ibushi. And, of course, we had a very good match with Grand Metalik and Tajiri. How would this week follow up? Actually, it followed up in fairly decent fashion. So we kicked the show off with the matchup I was most looking forward to, Akira Tozawa against Jack Gallagher. And they keep calling him Jack Gallagher, and that keeps making me think, am I saying it wrong? But I digress, it doesn't matter. So Gallagher controlled the early part of this match pretty much. He was out wrestling a guy like Tozawa. Tozawa looked great here, though. Tozawa looked way better here than he did against a guy like Kenneth Johnson. And Gallagher and Tozawa worked each other very, very well. Their styles meshed well. There was a great moment where Gallagher rolled Tozawa up in a ball, and Tozawa was on the mat screaming. And Tozawa screams great. So this was really good stuff. In the end, a fast German suplex from Tozawa. Then he goes for the bridge. Gallagher tries to escape it, but can't. Gets hit with a bridging German. Tozawa advances to the next round, and he will face, I believe, Grand Metalik, so that should be another entertaining matchup. 3 3/4 stars, one of the best matches of the tournament. These two guys meshed. I imagine if there's any two guys I want this company to sign in a match, it should probably be these two. These two really do need to be signed. Tozawa was obviously phenomenal as a strong style competitor, and Gallagher's got so much charisma. He reminds me of a Nakamura with his charisma. So great stuff from these guys. Really, really loved it. 3 3/4 stars. Then we had Noam Dar and Ho Ho Loon. This was a match. In the end, Noam Dar won. He worked over Loon's leg. There was very little payoff to the leg, even though, of course, he did make him tap with the Champagne Super Knee Bar. Why did he not call it the Champagne Super Knee Dar? I'm a pun guy. In the end, Loon taps to the Super Knee Bar, and Noam Dar advances to face the winner of Drew Gulak and Zack Sabre, which will probably be Zack Sabre. So that should be entertaining. Noam Dar hasn't showcased too much in this tournament, but I've seen some of his stuff outside of the WWE for companies like WCPW, for companies like RPW, I think he's worked for a couple of times. So I've seen some good stuff from him, and I'm hoping that he can have a good match with either Sabre or Gulak. This match here was fine. I gave it 2 stars, and it was a match. Main event time, Brian Kendrick and Tony Nese. Tony Nese, last week, honestly, fairly disappointed me. His athleticism is great, but he doesn't have a lot of presence. He has a unique look to him, but his look is also kind of shrouded by this bodybuilder persona, and he's definitely one of the guys that you look to be signed by Vince and by the WWE. This matchup made me want WWE to sign him. I didn't want WWE to sign him before this, but after this, 100%. He was athletic, he was gifted, he worked very, very well with the heel Brian Kendrick, but in the end, after doing all the moonsaults and all the big power moves, he gets caught by Brian Kendrick. He misses the 450 off the top rope. Kendrick catches him with the bully choke. Tony Nese taps out immediately, which was very smart psychology. 3.5 stars, very good matchup. Brian Kendrick will be facing Kota Ibushi. There's not a bigger matchup in this tournament of veterans than that one. So that is this week's Cruiserweight Classic. I thought there was a great match on this show in the opener and a very good match in the main event. The middle match was fine as a middle match, as a buffer match, I guess, between the two exciting matches, which I knew it would be, to be fair. So next week on the Cruiserweight Classic, we have Drew Gulak against Zack Sabre. We have Johnny Gargano against TJ Perkins, which will be really good. And we have Rich Swann against Lindsay Dorado, which should be pretty good. So thanks, guys, for watching. I know this has been a longer review because I have to talk about Suicide Squad and the uni stuff and the New Japan stuff. But thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you, Daniel Bryan's shirt today. Like, comment, subscribe for more. Tell me your thoughts. What did you think of this episode of the CWC? What did you think of this episode of NXT? What do you think to the look of Daria Berenato? Because that was an interesting conversation me and my friend had last night. What do you think to NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, obviously? And finally, which match of the tournament do you think has been the best so far? I would definitely say Alexander and Ibushi, and then Gargano and Ciampa. Thanks for watching, guys. This has been Raw Wrestler. Like, comment, and subscribe for more. I'll be back up on Saturday or Friday or tomorrow with my SummerSlam predictions. Back on Sunday, obviously, with my Brooklyn review. Back on Monday late again with my SummerSlam review. So thanks for watching, guys. This has been Raw Wrestler.